Let's figure out where the hell I am and what I'm doing. I need to raise this. And then get over there to get up there. To light that. To do something. What that means, what that does, haven't the foggiest. Is there something in here I need to be doing? Okay, that starts all these moving. And they're above where I am with those, but this one gets to the floor, so I can go up here. Hello, goop boys. And of course now the doubt immediately sets in, did I type the message correctly? Okay. Just instant doubt about my own typing, which is nothing new. Bird, 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 bird. Oh, he's spinning, he's spinning, he's spinning. Oh, I don't like the look of that at all. Oi. Knock it off. Okay, that's got more reach than I thought. And it's gonna continue, huh? Okay. I see how it is. Can I throw that from here? Sort of. Oh, fuck me. The charge time on this fireball is a bit of a problem. And we're screwed. Death. Thankfully, till the contract's fulfilled, we can't die. You know what? Don't need to deal with you guys. Can't be bothered. Bird, 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 bird. Yes, yes, you spin. I know. Goodbye. Okay, good. That's still lit. So that saves me some trouble. This guy needs a lesson. If he's gonna be useful like that, maybe I'm not as against him as I was before. Hey, man. Doing alright, how about you? Yeah, that's dealt with. That's gonna explode. Probably should go plant a seed, though. Good to hear. So the machinery kicks on in here. Managed to pop him before he could attack. Good, good. Go, dealt with. Oh, there's another plant pot here. Okay. Time to stop spinning. Dealt with. Dang it. Oh. Okay. This goes the opposite way of where I thought this was. I thought I had to come in from this side and go that way. This, logically, will be a shortcut back up here. Oh, no, it spawned enemies, so maybe that's forward progress. Didn't turn this on, so that probably will activate these. Where do I need to shoot from to hit that, then? Because more than like... Actually, no, because you can get there from... Yeah, okay. I realize I'm skipping a lot of thought there. That's because the thoughts are not fully formed along the way there. That is one big goop beast. As much as I would like to just kill it with fire, you have to hit things in melee in order to get your shots back. So inevitably, you kind of have to walk in and make do. Damn it, game. God, I hate those exploding pots. Thankfully, you can just kind of shove them off ledges and be done with them. Pretty sure I don't get the soul for that, but I'm fine with that result. And yes, they can do friendly fire, as you saw there, with the archer shooting the exploder. It's always fun to encourage a bit of friendly fire. And while I'd love to say I took that arrow to the face on purpose to dodge the explosion, that was just a happy accident that I didn't also explode. Well, that's concerning. Let's just leave this behind, shall we? I don't think we need to deal with that. That was really close to being a disaster. Now, an important thing to note is you can't really in-fight heal in this game. At least not that I've seen thus far. Which is a bit of a problem, all things considered. Okay. Made it work. I got a lot closer than I would have liked it to. Camera? Thank you. Hopefully we'll find a pot up here that I can put a plant in before we find anything else too badly. Yeah, they roll around. When they knock themselves over, you can hurt them. Right now, not gonna spend the time dealing with them. Need this first. There we go. And that's the end of them. When I die, those plants will respawn, but I'm pretty sure there are a finite amount of seeds in the world to make plants with, so there's the potential you could end up setting yourself up for failure if you just plant willy-nilly. While I'm derusting from not having played for a bit, I'm going to plant more often than I would normally. But a few people around were asking about this game, and I was like, oh yeah, I have this game. I may as well play this. This is a very good game. I'm just incredibly distracted at all times, so I forget even the best games I own. Oh yeah, they can hit the spirit orb things too. Now, you start out with a sword normally, but I'm using these knives for now because even though they've got really short reach, they're very fast, so at least for me, it makes deflecting shots like that easier, because you can just kind of spam your way to victory. But your other options, at least from what I've gotten so far, is the Reaper sword that you start with, and I picked up an umbrella along the way. And I have to assume that you either use the umbrella as a joke item or it's a challenge item. Bit of both. Because it's more or less identical to the sword, except a slightly larger attack, but it does half the damage. So, really ends up being a choice to use it. The daggers do less damage, but they attack twice as fast. Well, not directly twice as fast. They have 6 swings in their combo of sorts. I would be better able to explain that had I actually gone back through the beginning of the game. But there were a couple parts early on that I didn't want to go back through, so I opted just to hop back in where I was. Which has been a mixed blessing. Go up here just to throw the bomber off my scent for a moment. Ow. I disagree that didn't count, but you do you, game. I'm out of charges. No. Well, that was the faster way back, at least, I guess. Hit these pots to get charges back. And if you're wondering why the pots come back immediately, this is the mansion of a witch who's obsessed with pottery. Like, to a very weird degree. To the point where she has changed the heads of multiple people in her family into pottery. She is also one of 3, I think, souls we were sent here to go get after things went wrong. Because we were originally assigned to go get one very large soul, then somebody stole that soul out from under us and came here. So now we're here trying to, 1, figure that out, and while we're here, we were given the task of collecting those other souls as well. Is this little bird, is this universe's Grim Reaper? Or at least one of many. Which way did I go to get there? I think it was this way. So it was over there, then down here, then up here, then over here. Get denied by the elevator again. Goodbye. said good day, sir. I feel like I shouldn't have made that, but I'm happy the game gave that one to me. It's only fair it gives me one back after it took one away before. Damn it. Oh, that was a place to respawn me. Thanks, game. Appreciate it. Always happy to be spawned in hell. I don't need to deal with this. I don't need to deal with this. There is no reason to deal with this. Now, there's a pond right over here. I just need to not get hit by the rolling face people. These guys are here now. I still don't know what the deal with these little flower folk is. They follow you around until you either hit them or otherwise ditch them. And sometimes even when you hit them, they'll just continue to follow you anyway. Which is mildly concerning. Just wanted him out of my way. And we did not start with this fire spell. We started with that bow and arrow. Actually, no, we didn't even start with the bow and arrow. We found that in the first section before we got into here, which is the main proper the first proper dungeon, rather, of this game. So the overworld is mean enough in its own right. There's some nasty e-folk up there. Now, every time we find a door back to the Reaper world, whatever the hell it's called, I forget that particular bit off the top of my head, that is counted as a checkpoint. We can then come back to this world from there every time we die. And it also will enable us to go spend our hard-earned souls and everything on upgrades, which I probably could use about now. Disagree on that hitbox, but you do you, game. And that right there is why I continue to use the fire spell. Aside from its utility as a puzzle solution, it has piercing. So, it's very handy to have. Can I actually check my upgrades here? No. I cannot see my upgrades from here. That's fine. I'll demonstrate that when we eventually get to a door. Okay, now we got another shortcut through this section. Good. How many seeds am I carrying? 6. Okay, yeah, I got plenty of seeds. We'll go ahead and throw one here for this shortcut. As I said before, I could be a lot more efficient about how I'm doing the seeds, but I'm not that fussed about it. I do not as yet know if there's enough of a limit for it to matter. Nor am I playing well enough to really afford to spread them out too far. Speaking of, I should go back and heal. The inevitable embrace of death is getting gradually closer. Now, as to the reasoning why we aren't dying, I want to say it's something to do with contract fulfillment. Till we fulfill our contract, we neither age nor can die. But once your contract is fulfilled, then you resume aging normally. It's something along those lines. It's been a bit since I saw that particular dialogue, so I do not 100% remember. But it's in that vein. Okay, they put another heal spot here. I don't feel I need this one, though. I'm only missing 1 health. We'll see if we can press on without it. Need be, I can turn around and plant it. Yeah, and this is where you can summon in a door. Now this will be here forever. Yeah, the Hall of Doors, Reaping Commission Headquarters. What do you have to say, Badger? Yeah, that was part of the problem in this area that we're going, is the souls in that place found a way, or was made to be this way, where their souls weren't going back into the cycle. Their souls were never being collected. Which, apparently in this universe there's a finite amount of souls, so if they all get stuck in there, there's no job for the Reapers anymore. They got nothing to collect. So things became a bit of a problem. As you can see, so far I've only put 1 in each upgrade. I don't have enough actually to get another one yet, which is unfortunate. But strength makes you reach further and hit harder. Dexterity makes you faster, or for all of your attacks, and your range attacks charge faster, which is huge. You, of course, with haste, just move faster, roll better. And magic does exactly what it says on the tin. All of your ranged moves hit harder. All of the above are useful. These guys really, either really love their paperwork or they're lying. It's hard to say. I mean, saying I lost it isn't quite the whole thing. It was stolen, damn it. It's not my fault. He knocked me over the head and took my bucket. Now, there are a bunch of small puzzles and such in this world as well. But I don't think we've gained any of the abilities we need to deal with them. So I'm pretty sure this needs something I don't have yet, which is most likely bombs. Because more often than not, the puzzles in here are after you gain an ability, you'll be coming back into this section from the little area where you gain the ability. Because for some reason, they've got all this stuff laying around in here, and we're just not allowed to have it. Is it's either, like, forgotten, or it's buried somewhere, or things of that nature. Which just stinks of bureaucracy to me. Which, with the way this place looks, I think that's pretty accurate. All the birds with all their typewriters. Oh, is it boss fight time? That is the Urn Witch. She doesn't like us very much. She imprisoned a bunch of other crow souls who have come to try to collect on the souls here. It didn't go great for them, but we released a bunch of them in order to get the fire spell earlier. Well, you're saving them, but you're also locking them in stagnation. If that's true, how can we see you? Doubt. Now, I have no idea how this fight goes, so this is gonna be a thing. Yeah, that's how this goes. I'm sorry, what? Get out of that pot. Hey. Hey. Hey, 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 hey. Also hazy, you know. If I could somehow manage to win this fight without getting hit, I would be amazed. Considering this would be the first round of this fight. This fight seems pretty easy so far, so I'm waiting for somehow a phase 2 to show up, and it's just going to be a nightmare. Oh, there's the hit. God, I should have just not said anything. I should have just not said anything at all. Every time. I jinx myself every time. I suppose I wouldn't be me if I didn't jinx myself. Yeah. As I do. Just means I'm not gonna say the other part of what I was thinking there, because it's just going to make things worse. And what I was gonna say is I'd be surprised if I got this first try. But unless there's a second phase, I think I just did. Yeah, that looks like that fight's done. That looks very done to me. Just look at the man on the left there. And you'll understand what I said before about there being some odd characters. And our character's head will just never stop twitching around throughout all of this. It's just like... Hey, Pop Man. I'd believe that. But yeah, she turned his head into a pot. Because apparently, according to her, you can't die if you are part pottery. Which I suppose there's some logic there, but oh boy. I mean, she did become a Potterhead, so take that as you will. Hi. You guys are very big and on fire. What's this way? Ah, okay, probably get there, or from a different direction. I also am a little confused by the giant tuning forks they seem to be carrying. Oh, hey, boss. Through a door. Yeah, that's an interesting design. I get the feeling he doesn't get many visitors. Well, it would. You were working with the Witch of Urns. I mean, a reward would be nice. That's not a good look for somebody giving a reward. Okay, that's better. Huh. Something about that face is just throwing me off really hard right now. I get the feeling he's really up to something. Well, that was a graceful entrance. Hi. I can't imagine the paperwork on bringing him the wrong soul. Hey, do you want this big soul? You don't want this big soul, but I do have enough to buy an upgrade now. Give me more reach. Get the feeling I'm gonna need that. That is a pretty significant upgrade. Okay. Hi, can you do something with this new soul? I wonder if that's the crow that stole the soul. This was a very large crow that whacked us over the head and stole the soul we were assigned to collect. That started this whole mess. Do you know anything, Badger? They're all locked behind that big door. You can come too. Just pick a door, any door. Come along. I could use the help. No? You're just gonna hang out here and keep smoking? Okay. He's got that right. What? Yes, you're a flower. I know. Let's see. I've got fire now, so presumably there are things back in the main area I can do. Because we're done in the witch's house. It's just a matter of figuring out which door I need to go through to get to a area that'll be useful. I could go back to the cemetery, but I think the cemetery is how I got to the witch's house. What are these other doors again? Inner furnace, I know I don't need. Estate of the Urn Witch might have a thing or two I can do now. Ceramic Manor's the inside of the house. Let's just go back all the way back to here. See what I can connect to from here. As we'll collect some free souls. These guys are a lot easier to deal with than they were when I came through here in the first place, that's for sure. We've gotten many an upgrade since then. And I just appreciate this walk cycle. It's very simple, but just the little hop he's doing the whole way. Just hop, 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 hop. Yeah. Ooh. Want that. Like, you can tell they spent a long time getting this exactly how they wanted it. And that they really had a specific vision in mind, and I can't say I've ever quite seen exactly something like this before. There's been similar. There's absolutely been similar. But nothing quite like this. Like, stylistically, they really fit in between the two obvious inspirations here with Zelda and the Souls games. Okay, I need a bomb to get in there. It's like I'm gonna run around over here till I either find a new path or find another door to go back to the hub. Yes? The one... Ooh, that's no good. How old did you get to? Okay. And love sickness from what? The excuses they make for those kids dying is still just madness. For being a bird, I really can't deal with this problem at all. So, almost everything with that idle RPG thing is weird. Hey, Gravekeeper. Now, presumably the fact that they wrote Under the Moon's Light differently means that that's a hint to something. But to what? Haven't the foggiest. I'm sure somewhere way down the line that'll become relevant and it'll just be one of those moments where I just hit myself for a second like, wait, of course that's what that meant. Let's wait to the summit. Pretty sure I'm going back. Wait, yes, overgrown ruins. Because we need fire to get in here, which means this must be a path to some variety of progress. Whether this is where we're supposed to go next or not is a whole other animal, but as far as I'm aware, it's not too possible to get too far out of your way. Because anywhere you really shouldn't be will be locked off with abilities you don't have yet. But knowing me, I'll find a way to end up somewhere weird. And anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about probably was very confused by how calmly that was delivered. As far as the sun dying thing goes. Huh. I mean, that's one way to work a gondola, I guess. Well, I'll aboard the turtle gondola, I guess. Ah, there's a lever. That'll open the door, probably. We came here through a massive door, and that's why it's using the door itself as a landmark to tell you where things are. Open the door. Open. The interact prompt for these doors can be a bit weird at times, at least in my experience. It's not a big issue because you don't need to open them quickly, but it just always gets a little odd. I'm not gonna go back, well, I'm gonna go back through the door just to make sure it checkpoints. But I don't need to go in here right now because we don't have enough to spend on anything. And of note, there are accessibility options for those who need them. You can turn off the screen shake, the enemies flashing, anything that flashes on the full screen, and you can turn off blood. Should you need to do any of the above, those are available. And I give them full credit for having those. That can probably be blown open. That was not the response I was expecting. Also, you can apparently talk to me. Frog King, huh? Okay. If you were strong like Mother, you could probably break it down. Okay. That's all well and good, but that means nothing to me currently. Another seed. I don't know what that is, but I want it. I see how to get it, and we can't do it right now. Because most likely, this is an anchor for a hook shot, and you use it to get up to there to then drop to that. But we don't have that, so... Problems for another time. Why are things weird over here? OBS, why are you being weird? There we go. For some reason, the window had sized strangely on its own, and I couldn't see my timer, or for how long I'd been active. So I was momentarily very confused. Oh, that explodes. No? It spits. Okay. Similar to exploding, just directional. It can't be hurt while it's getting ready to spit at me. Okay. I don't think it's possible to kill the... Wait a minute. Uh-huh. As soon as I realized it couldn't be killed, it's like, wait, that's probably used to break a wall or something nearby. Look around, suddenly, oh, there's a wall. So those aren't enemies, those are puzzle solutions. Break that open for another shortcut. That open for progress. There's a healing pot that we don't currently need, so I won't put a seed in it unless I have to. I think that's the first time we've actually had a key show up in this game. Even though it's all about doors, kinda. You, spit at me. Thank you. I will leave you alone now. Oh god. We can play that game. Okay, I can hit those. Okay. Ah, smarter idea. Rather than hitting him and running across, how about I hit him with a fireball and then get out of the way before I get blown up? It's very bird versus nature around here. Just have to hit everything natural on my screen in the hopes that it leads to progress. Generally not, no. You know, it's all well and good to be nice and close to the explosion, but it's better to make somebody else blow up. That's certainly a sentence, and that's certainly quite the way to greet somebody. Oh boy. Yeah, that tracks. So I need to find a horn for the Forest Elder. Okay. I'll mark that down in my mental list of things I need to do. Okay, getting rid of them makes that drop down. I can grab this, which is worth 100. Could also just kind of walk around on the wall a little bit. So it doesn't look like this leads to anything useful here, but that's good to know. This opens a shortcut. Okay, this leads back around to where we were. So now we can go up. I don't have any kind of lob shot, or I could throw this over at him to get him to break those. But that's intended to be a shortcut back, presumably. There's seed to grab here. And we can open this. I am a little confused as to the point to that door right now, but, you know, one of those things. So, I must be intended to go over to the right side over here. There must be something this way. Except there's another door I can't open. Here, perhaps? Aha. Nah. Right up into the forest settlement. Early. My timing has just ever so gently drifted off, so now it's gonna be a minute while I get my head kicked in. Everything has decided itching is a good idea. Okay, we can plant a seed and sort this problem out. As you can see, our primary modes of dealing with anything currently is stab it with knives, dodge roll to not get hit, and kill it with fire. That's pretty much what we got. I think I do have... yeah, I do have a charge on one of my buttons to do a different attack, but I honestly don't tend to use it that much because it's very slow to charge. There are opponents that it's very good against, just not most of these guys. And I also only just remembered that I have it, so that's why it hasn't been getting used today. But it's a good opener. There we go, open up even more shortcuts. This game is nothing if not rife with shortcuts. Okay, good. I didn't have to do that twice. I was worried I was going to have to get a bomb across there twice to break the two different sections. Obvious ladder. Yes, yes, you hiding little bastard. You can just keep spitting fireballs at me. I don't care. You think you're so sneaky and so clever. Give me that. And just as a point of clarity, since I did put the no spoilers and no backseating thing down there at the bottom, I do not mind if you tell me something that I can miss entirely. For those who know anything about this game, that's fine. Just don't make a nuisance of yourselves, like telling me 1,000 things every minute, or you will probably get timed out. And of course, don't run around throwing story spoilers, or you will be just banned immediately. There will be no discussion of this topic. You will just be gone. While I typically don't care about such things, I don't want things being ruined for others. Good to know that that works about as well as I expected it to. I hadn't tried running them into a bomb till now, but at least it worked. And this seed so I can heal. I'm probably going to end up with way too many seeds left over at the end of the game because of how conservative I'm being with these. But I'd rather have seeds left over than run out of them at a crucial time. Assuming that isn't... yeah, that isn't going to hit them from here. So I either need to come back when I have my own capability of blasting these open, or I need something that I can lob down there to trigger him. Neither of which I have, so that's not going to matter right now. Okay. Oh, there's the horn. There we go. Fire. And that. Now, this is a nice junction, so I'm going to go ahead and put a seed here even though I don't currently need it, because this will see a lot of use. Because we can get here from 3 different places, it looks like. Let's head back to the settlement and see if we can turn in this horn. That is, of course, if the Elder's even here. Oh. The Elder is here now. You weren't here a minute ago. Not gonna lie, that's not quite the sound I expected that horn to make. I was expecting something a bit deeper. Ah, that's how that door opens. Okay. Should have known when I couldn't set it on fire that it was gonna be a plot thing. That presumably opens the forest dungeon. Oh, time to go see what fresh hell that is. Mushroom Dungeon, the Forgotten Depths. Oh, this is certainly gonna be a place. And it may even have things in it. Okay, so this is over here on the right. The doors do match up with their actual geological location, too. Which is convenient. You know, as long as you remember. Actually, wait. Is it 800 for all of them? Or, no. It is per... or tier, not per upgrade spent. Okay. Could not remember. Let's get a bit more... attack speed. I was debating better dodging, but I've been doing just fine on my dodges when I actually use them. So, I don't think that needs too much adjustment right now. Meanwhile, if we kill them, we don't have to dodge them. Okay, so webs are to be burnt. Wizards and their teleportation. I mean, you've certainly found a way to get here, yes. Well, you're on my list anyway, buddy. You know what? I don't like you eyeing me like that. Get out of here. Huh. For some reason, I didn't expect him to react to that. Well. That is a big door. Okay, so there's gonna be trapped crows' souls down here somewhere then. Because the last time I encountered that door, that was what gave me access to the fire ability. So I need to find some missing crows. Free their souls. This appears to be a... I don't know. I thought that was a shortcut, but it's actually a different place. Ah, I see. Hit this guy. Break that open and burn both of these at the same time. And then I get the key. I will say one thing for... that's kind of a mix thing for me on this game. I haven't seen any really unique puzzles. And that's mostly fine. You know, the only kind of unique puzzle I encountered was there was a kind of interesting mirror puzzle in one part of the pot odd house. I won't go into too much detail on that so people can actually, you know, see it for themselves. But it was a thing. And even then, mirror puzzles have been done before. But I liked the way that one worked. That was an interesting idea. And while I understand why this game doesn't really have a map would be lovely. Yeah, as you see there, we only have to get 3 giant souls, the frog being the second of the 3, presumably. These shards raise our max health, they're like heart containers. These give us more charges and magic. I think I started with 2 charges for my magic. Might have been 3. It's been a bit. I respect the honesty, Frog King. I'm a little confused by you telling me that, but... Nah. I'm gonna have to say no to that truce. Considering your honesty came from a disingenuous place, I'm going to have to say no. You're just gonna keep showing up, aren't you? You're just gonna pop out of the everything. Another one that's saying that the Reaper Commission's the one who screwed everything up. Which wouldn't surprise me. The way that this has been framed really makes it sound like the Lord of Doors is gonna be the problem at the end of this. And I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to see where that goes. Okay, I gotta get on top of that shelf somehow. Which, from the look of this, is gonna involve coming down through a hole above it or something, because I don't see any obvious ways up. That drop down is going to involve a bit of backtracking. Oh, it wasn't as much backtracking as I was worried it was going to be. The worst part about this is going to be remembering where the door was. I could just as easily find the door in this section and use that door to warp to the mushroom dungeon door. That'd be a shortcut. The other option is I could just die, but I'd rather not die. Dying doesn't seem very productive. Now, this does mean we're gonna have to backtrack through the dungeon a bit too, but that's fine. There was another path back in here that I didn't take anyway. What's your deal? That sure is a sentence. I can respect wanting to be your own frogman. Okay, that's just cheeky, hiding in the doorway like that. You dead? You're not dead, I can hear you. Hello again, big door. Let's go this way this time. Ooh, big hammer. I want it. Not usually a fan of big hammers, but that one will probably be fun. So I want it. We might not be able to do this section right now, though. That's unfortunate. So I think we need to blow this open, and we can't do that without being able to hit that guy. And because of this wall here, we can't hit that guy. So, kind of stuck. So apparently I just reflexively went the right way the first time. Because this way seems to lead to Bubkiss, unless there's a ladder behind this. Nope. Okay. Back the way we went before it is, then. I know I'm a little bit quiet and a little low energy here right now, and I apologize for that. But even with the tea I'm drinking and having some leftover birthday cake, it's not quite gotten the energy back up to compensate for the way sleep has been of late. We'll do what we can with what we got. Okay, first bird soul. Hey, friend. I suppose a lot of the time my streams end up being a little low energy either way. So not much has changed. Did I go up here last time or did I go through the door down there? I did not go up here last time. Ah! Well, that would have been convenient to go into last time. God damn it. Oh well. Nothing really has been lost. Oh, I really hope I didn't use the wrong key in the wrong place on that note. Nice. How did that work out for you? I would imagine the ranked players are a little bit brutal. Can't go this way? I've noticed that with card games. A lot of people will concede early. I guess they just want to save time, but I don't know. Usually I'll ride out the full match no matter how poorly it's going for me. And considering the way I will make very messy, gimmicky nonsense, it tends to not exactly go great for me. Exactly. You might still pull something back, at least to keep the match interesting. You may not win, but you're there to play the game, so why not actually play the game? Like, I get that some people are all about getting the best results for themselves, but it's a game. Dang it. Well, there's the first death of the stream. Good thing we got that shortcut. Actually, no, I did die earlier. Either way. I don't know if anybody saw the other one. I'm going the wrong way. I may as well lead these guys on a merry chase, I guess. Like, I used to play a fair bit of Hearthstone, even though that was honestly a mistake. And a lot of people, if you started to even get half of a decent combo going, a lot of people would just concede. Well, yeah, you would like to have a backup plan, because if that doesn't work out, you're gonna be kind of hosed otherwise. And I'm a little familiar with how Cyber Dragon decks go, but my knowledge is also out of date, so I don't know how the modern iteration of it goes entirely. So I'm sure there's a lot more nonsense at this point. Because everything's just gotten a lot more nonsense. Yeah. Always have a backup. Even if it can sometimes compromise the first plan a little bit, you're better off having that backup. Because the nature of card games, you won't always draw exactly what you need. Okay. I don't remember if they ever were, like, all the way at the top. They were always good, I just don't I don't pay enough attention to competitive standings to remember whether they were ever, like, the top choice. Yeah. They've been in the meta for a very long time. I just don't remember how high in the meta they were. This is upsetting. Okay. There we go. That was the better pattern. Yeah. Honestly, the meta gets boring very fast. Especially if you're actually actively playing out in the public pool, because you're gonna see them every damn where anyway. I'm one of those people who... I won't even look at lists or anything, even to know what I'm up against. I'll just make whatever catches my eye when I look through a pile of cards, pretty much. That's just how I operate. Will it work? Will it not? Don't care. Trying it anyway. And man, did I find a lot of things that didn't work. But that's just the risk you take. That's fair. Especially when you're actually playing in a online scenario like that, it is good to have one that you're familiar with, to at very least have something to grind the game's particular currency with. No, back when I was physically playing Yu-Gi-Oh! A fair bit, I went through and made decks for basically every monster type, and a lot of them don't work. Ah, okay, yeah. If it handed it to you already, you may as well roll with it too. It's like, there are some monster types that have, like, no support at all. And it's kinda sad. Some of those still worked anyway, a little bit, but oof. They were choices. Am I going back the right way to get to where I was? I think I'm going the wrong way. Yeah. couple of the cards for that can be a real nightmare to get a hold of, unless that's changed in recent times. Or at least as far as the physical copies go. It's probably nowhere near as bad, logically, to get them in the games, considering there's, you know, no print limit at the very least to worry about. There's technically an infinite amount of copies of it. So I would assume that game also only has a handful of the more modern sets in it, doesn't it? It doesn't have every set ever, because that would be a bit insane. I'm going to assume that's a newer one, because that flies over my head. Because I've been out of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Loop for 4 or 5 years at a minimum? Something like that. And even at the end of that, I was only kind of vaguely paying attention. That looks interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's another thing that kind of made me not bother with competitive play at the very least, because I get why they ban things, but I'm one of those people that gets annoyed just because there's limitations in the first place. I would much rather allow the busted nonsense to exist and just have to make do with the existence of said busted nonsense. In competitive, you are forced to deal with them, so banning it makes sense. In any other capacity, you just don't play with that person anymore if they refuse to play something reasonable. For competitive, you do need balance, otherwise nobody's gonna want to get involved with it. Man, I do not like these hammer guys. They have too damn much armor and too damn much health. That's fair. A lot of people will still refer to the ban list even if they're not playing competitively. So you're better off playing within that, just so you don't run into people who are like, no, you can't have that. Rah, 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 rah. so easy to get stuck on that big bastard's model. Okay. As long as it's not too restrictive, that's good. Whoop. Hello, Ocean, my old friend. That's also fair. I get why some people enjoy burn decks, but I can't get behind it either. And I've never been able to 100% put my finger on why I hate playing them. I know absolutely why I hate playing against them, but I never could fully put a finger on why I disliked playing a burn deck. Good luck with the raid. I think I went the wrong way again. Yep, sure did. Somehow I just keep gravitating back over here. I'm gonna switch back to the sword for a little bit. See if the extra reach helps against the hammermen. It definitely is part that it's boring, yeah. Because you're literally just sitting there slamming down cards that do direct damage. You're not doing anything else, just direct damage, direct damage, direct damage, direct damage, ha 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 ha. That's just... I don't want to call it a lazy playstyle, because that's not really fair. But there's not a lot going on. As someone who played blue counter in Magic a lot, people would call me very lazy too. So, I can't call anybody out on being lazy. Yeah, there are options for it. Especially now. Appreciate it. Lurkers are always welcome here. Soldiers are fun. I tended to roll pure white if I was rolling soldiers, but blue-white soldiers are real good. I did mess around a little bit with a red-white goblin soldier setup too, which worked out kind of okay. It was sloppy, but it was fun. with one group I used to play with, we allowed every set that was ever printed for Magic. So there were some really stupid things that would happen. Such as a fairly old card called Drownu's Crusade coming into play, which... I forget if it was Drownu's Crusade that would res things as zombies, or if it was another one that would bring them back as zombies whenever they died. But you'd then just have piles of goblin zombies all over the board, and it was... Once it got rolling, unless you destroyed the enchantments, that was basically the end of everything. But yeah, having the buffer of having blue to protect things is a good idea. Because you can stop them from just wiping the whole lot of soldiers out with a single spell, which would otherwise not be that hard to do. No, whenever somebody in the group was being annoying and just was playing just some really rancid meta nonsense that I couldn't stand, I would just break out this one pure blue counter control I had that... It was just purely designed to upset people. Yeah, I figured. Heard you were going to end up buried in Dying Light, that's fine. Thank you for managing to pull away long enough to be here. Yeah, and anything to make the soldiers just that little bit harder to kill, or that hit that little bit harder, is a huge help with them, since their baseline not really that strong. Okay, we got a key, but why? Okay, we're back in the hammer room, which means I know where a locked door is. Of course, I'm not going to autopilot to where that locked door is, like I expected to, but we'll get there. Yeah, because I autopiloted the very wrong way. That sounds right. Because the vast majority of soldier cards, I want to say, ended up being 2/2s. With a handful of, like... Didn't they also tend to have more toughness than power? I feel like that's true. Nope. Not sure I'm going the right way. I think I've gone too far back. Yep, gone too far back. But I think this will lead us back in a more useful direction. Well, that was inconvenient. Let's see what's behind this door. More hammermen. Joyous day. Missed it. The fire flower. I think my 3 most played decks in Magic probably end up being my Pure Red Dragons, my Pure Blue Control counter for people who aggravated me, and then probably that Goblin deck, which was like 3 different variations depending on how I felt that day. It either was the red-white version, a pure red version, or I think I did actually end up running the red-black version in a more coherent form. Damn it. He swung a little sooner than I thought he was going to. That card I do not remember. I feel like I should remember that card, but I do not remember that name offhand. It may be from a set that came out after I stopped playing. Considering that is yet again a case of I'm speaking in terms of having played in college, which would be like 8 years ago. And I have dipped in since then in little drips and drabs online, but not really in any serious capacity. There are many things that I have not done in a long time. God, that makes me feel old. Okay. That would be a very good card, yeah. I feel like there's been another card like that with a different name. And that's probably why I'm picturing it but not actually having the right one in mind. Just a big thing that kills card games as a hobby is just the sheer expense of keeping up with it. I suppose it's not any better or worse than any other physical tabletop hobby, like a war game or anything like that. You'd still end up constantly having to put in more and more money for that, too. The door was back this way. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Nope, wrong room. Okay. I can see why that would be incredible. So, refresh my memory. Would that work on the opposing player's white creatures as well? Or does it specifically specify player control? Oh, that is a hungry box. If you thought we were gonna get our new ability that easily, you're wrong. Okay, then yeah, that would most likely be a gamble if you're up against another white deck, then. It basically means you don't gain anything, because they're gonna gain the same benefit. I couldn't remember whether that worked that way in Magic or not. It had been too long. He's shooting fast. He needs to go. Damn it. Yeah. Thankfully, these are checkpointed in of themselves. Yeah. You just gotta watch out that you're not up against somebody who's got like a pile of angels or something. Because those are gonna pound for pound be stronger than you and get the benefit. Oh, this is not great. Use him to clear the mob off my back while I deal with him. Elves are pretty good, or at least they used to be. I'm assuming they've gotten some more modern support, otherwise there would have been a massive outcry. Ah, those explode. God damn it. Lesson learned. Not sure how I got hit there. He didn't start attacking until I was already knocked over by an attack. That was a bit odd. I'm gonna assume a fireball came in underneath him or something. That's dealt with. That's the gamble with trying to rush an enemy down when they're still in the door, is you can't actually see them yet. So you can't tell if they're attacking necessarily. Okay, I disagree with how he tracked me on that last one, but I was doomed on that round either way. Okay. Once upon a time, they just were ridiculous for how quickly they could ramp up mana, so they were very good for getting ahead. So it's good to see them have more options these days. So I suppose you could make those options work either way. Consider, you know, once you have all the mana in the world, you can do whatever the hell you want after a point. He got the shot off. Why is this archer so much more durable than usual? I don't think I've seen that kind of archer until in here. Usually just die in like 2 hits. That guy takes like 7. There we go. A lot less spiders now. So I'm assuming these are spiders. They might be beetles of some kind. Hard to say. Either way, they need to go. This guy needs to go immediately. Okay, there we go. That took a lot more doing than I would have liked it to, but at least it got done. Now we can get our new ability. But yeah, it probably has the same kind of curve that I'm picturing for the way the old Elven decks would work. You pile out a bunch of mana generating creatures, try your best to keep them alive, pile on all the power you need, and then once you've reached that point, it just starts raging out of control. Now we have bombs. Now I can do all the irresponsible things I've wanted to do. Generally, yes. There are people who tried mixing in other things, but the fact that most of them generated only green made it hard to do anything other than pure green with it. There were ways to filter the mana to be whatever color you want, but it was complicated and tended not to be very efficient. How are these things getting in here? I guess they follow me through the door. With the problems I just had, I think I need to start moving faster. That's a noticeable increase in speed. Not a huge noticeable change in the roll cooldown, but I'll take what I can get. It is definitely a little further a distance. I was starting to see some support for green-blue and green-black back when I was still playing. It wasn't huge support because it was still in new sets, so it wasn't fully fleshed out yet, but I would assume that the green-black one is the one that does the poison. And of course the green-blue is control, because anything involving blue is control. That just tends to be how that goes. And hopefully everyone else isn't getting too tired of the card game discussion, because I could talk about this all day. That would also make sense, because having a few kill cards around to cover your swarm wouldn't be a bad thing. There are very few topics in gaming and gaming adjacent things that I can't at least find a way to talk about for a while. Yeah. I haven't seen the Frog King for a bit. For those who came in late, we're trying to hunt him down to claim his soul, because he's one of the 3 left, well, one of 2 left at this point that I need to claim to finish dealing with the problems around here. And now we're in his domain proper. The thing with card games and things like that is there's such a wide variety available, you never know what you're gonna end up hearing in a conversation like that. Because that's how new strategies develop, is somebody tries something wild and out there, and it actually hits. That probably could work, but it ends up reaching a point where it probably starts getting really inefficient. That's what ends up killing a lot of strategies, is in basically any card game, is the efficiency. Because you gotta think, once you've now hit 3 colors, you have 3 colors you could potentially draw, and you could end up drawing all of the land and in support for every color but the cards you draw. And while that can happen with 2, it just gets higher odds once you have 3. So you'd have to have a bunch of color conversion available to compensate for it. And at that point, you've now got more bloat, and it just steadily takes a downward spiral from there. Though it is fun to try to build a 5-color deck. It's a mess, but it's fun. Actually, did I count wrong? Red, blue, black, white, green? No. 5. For a second there, my brain yelled at me and went, no, shouldn't that be 4? It's like, no, all of them would be 5. Okay, that made a bridge here, which takes me this way. It's just fun to mess with deck ideas, whether they're practical or not, just to see where it goes. That's another, or one of the layers behind why I kind of stopped playing card games as much, because I found I enjoy building the deck more than I enjoy playing the game in a lot of cases. If that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense, because it'd be hard to fit in. How... What did they use, if you can remember? Because now I'm curious how a 5-color deck was a 1-turn kill. They must have had something ridiculous. And let's not gloss over too hard the fact that the archer that just had to die was named Red Shirt. There we go. Don't need to spend anything here. Or just wanted to make sure that checkpointed. That's fair. There probably was a lot going on with that, so it'd be hard to keep track of. Is the last 5-color deck I remember being successful was very artifact-centric, since artifacts are mostly colorless. You can have whatever colors you want involved there, and it won't really matter what you end up drawing. Yeah. There used to be some very, very scary pure artifact setups. I don't know if they still have support anymore, like the MERS and such. The only other thing I can think of that commonly ended up with either 5 colors or just a lot of colors were slivers. Yeah. That sounds like the right color combination. So I would assume it was just cranking out token creatures. Knew I rolled into death on that one, but it was better than getting shot. Well, debatably. Yeah. You'd either or go for those, or you just sub that in just so you'd have kill cards on hand. Hell with that plant. Yeah. So, red anything tends to be pretty quick and brutal. There used to be an equipment artifact that I liked using with goblins. That its whole thing was anything that got into combat with the thing equipped with this hammer, they would both die. So I would just keep equipping it on 1/1 goblins and throwing it at whatever was a problem. And it may sound crazy to pair goblins with artifacts now, but that actually used to be a supported idea. Like, there was a whole set of card support for goblins with artifacts a few sets back. I'm assuming it doesn't really have as much support these days. Plant that in case I need that mid-fight. I'm sure somebody's tried. Whether it's worked ever or not, that may be a whole other question. Well, that was embarrassing, just taking a point-blank arrow to the forehead. The hell was that? Something just flew past the camera from the bottom to the top over here. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm going to assume somebody else would have seen that. God damn it. Oh, not bombs. Fire. Fire, fire, fire. Yeah. Well, to a point, any deck idea can be made to work. It just won't work in the majority of situations, ends up being the thing. And that's what people try to look for, is something that'll work in the majority of situations. As you can see there, the main advantage to the bow over the fireball is the bow is a lot faster. God damn it. I really dislike that these archers can fire at point-blank range like that. You'd think they would either have a hard code to back up or something. Yeah, exactly. In casual, a lot more things are viable. Because it's not just a field full of one-turn kill decks and other awful things. So I don't know if it's as bad these days, but there were a fair few periods where the meta in most card games was, can you kill in one turn? No, then you lose. Thought I was gonna kill him before he could swing. That doesn't surprise me. It comes down to, in a lot of cases, the only way to guarantee that an opponent cannot counter you is by killing them before they can play. If they cannot outplay, they cannot win. It's logical, but unfortunate. Yeah. One way or the other, you must prevent your opponent from getting to play the game in order to have a guarantee you will not lose. And again, the logic is sound, but by the same token, the whole point of playing a game should be to, you know, play the game, not make it an awful, unfun experience for your opponent. We also see that kind of behavior come up in competitive versions of other forms of gaming, too. A lot of things end up boiling down to, can you prevent your opponent from taking action against you in the first place, either by being so fast they can't deal with you, blocking them from taking action, etc. And that's just unfortunately logical basic strategy, is you must prevent the bad thing from happening. And in 9 times out of 10, the bad thing that would happen is your opponent actually getting to kill you. Yeah. It, it's a it's a more a matter of allowing there to be play and counterplay rather than just shutting the opponent down before they get to play. That usually ends up being more interesting than just, oh hey, the game is immediately over. I'm glad you showed up to play for 5 seconds. Because even more than that being boring, I would honestly say that's an active disrespect of the other person's time. And time is really important. And as with most things, don't get me wrong, there are cases where that is valid and understandable. But yeah, exactly. And to swing back to what we were talking about initially about people conceding quickly in online games, I would assume that that's an extension from that same logic, is they expect to be just destroyed so quickly that they won't get to play, so as soon as they see it turn against them, they're like, oh, I'm not gonna get a turn, I should just leave now and save myself the time. I suppose that ends up being the fear at that point. At least in some cases. Some people probably just don't care at all. Because there's always a few of those out there. I mean, not having a chat in that is probably for the best on the whole, but it is unfortunate. I think we both know that a chat in there would get toxic. Like, under a lot of circumstances, so it's best that it ends up not being there, but it would be nice if that was an option. You know, just let people have it on or off, rather than it just not being available. Where was that shortcut? Well, yeah, and that's the other part of that is it cuts off the handful of positive interactions there would also be when you just lock that option out entirely. All for preventing the potential toxicity. Which, are the odds high that there would be negative interactions? Yes. Would that be the only interactions? No. God damn it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm the type of person that would just straight up turn the chat off. But I'm also just not that much of a people person in general. And I've got a lot of work to do on social anxiety related things and stuff of that nature. Yeah. Which, to be fair, that would be more comfortable for some people, but yes, it does detract from the experience at the same time. It's not without its advantages, but it is also a negative in and of itself. And in its own way, it kind of speaks to where they expect the community to have been going as a whole, which I can't say they're wrong, but it's also kind of bad that they have that expectation. Especially when you consider the fact that if they have that expectation and that's all they've done to correct that, that's not great. Exactly. Don't mind me as I engage just fuck everything and run on tactics at this point. Because this is getting out of hand and I don't feel like dealing with it anymore. Running for my life. I don't need to be here. Running for my life. Okay, I need to deal with these guys, so we're stuck with this one. There's a healing pot here, so I'm just gonna plant it and come back to it if I need it. This game has definitely gotten harder, though. Just as an example, I tended to play a lot of games even that were intended to be played with many people, or at least a few people, solo, regardless of intent, because of an expectation that had been built up in me that my interactions would not go well. Was that a false expectation? Yes. Did I lose out a lot as a result of it? Yes. But that's just the expectation that had come to be because of previous experiences. So I see where they're coming from in their design there, but as pointed out there, you're losing something out of the interaction by not having the option. That's not to say everything involved with that is a negative either, though. Because, again, taking my personal experience as an example, I have become significantly better at certain types of games as a result of more or less forcing myself to become better to compensate for not being around others. Same here. That part of why I'm doing what I'm doing right now is to force myself out of that shell a bit harder. And it has helped immensely. I have become more vocal in person as a result of what I've been doing here. Everyone has their own ways to compensate for previous experience and just things that are ingrained in them to begin with. And everyone will find their own solutions eventually. It takes longer for some people than others, and some don't find the answers, but that's just the unfortunate reality. But to do this, I also had to do a fair bit of build-up in small groups. Just doing demonstrations for the handful of people I had managed to make connections with along the way. To compare how I was years ago to who I am now, you would not be able to tell it's the same person. You would see the same face, but everything else would be different. To compare it to when I was very young, it would be very similar to who I am now. So somewhere in between things changed, and then I'm now coming back into that. And I have a lot of people who have been here to thank for that, and you know who you are, and it would take me all day to thank all of you. Even all of you who are currently here hearing me, I appreciate every single one of you. Oh god, that is a lot. Don't be like that guy. That is a perfect example of the kind of person not to be. Don't be that arrogant to have a mile-long title. Oop. I curved that a little bit too much. Okay, so how do I hurt him? Because it looks like when he's prepping to jump, he's vulnerable. Bombs don't seem to do a damn thing to him. That hurts, okay. Yeah, because he's not taking damage by doing that. So this is going to be a little more complex. Oh, I think I get it. No, that's not working. I thought I had to set those straps on fire since they're glowing, but maybe I just need to cut them. Yep, it's just cut them. Okay. And then once he's without his armor, I assume he'll be easier to deal with. Yeah, no, it was definitely hit him in the back. It was just hitting him with what and when was becoming the issue. Because I had hit him in the back a couple times early on, and it didn't do anything. So I think I just had bad angling on the first couple shots. Wow, that animation just murdered the frame rate for some reason. Ooh, boy. Which is odd, because this has been running so well up till now. And that wasn't that crazy an animation. The fact that his mace is glowing tells me I can do something with that. I just don't know what yet. Oh, he is really limiting my options, though. Oh, I don't want to be a snack. Yeah, that's where I just got to, because I wanted to try bombs first since that's what we received here. I assumed the boss was going to involve the bombs somehow. Yeah, that resets the platforms. Okay. Because his mace is the same as the things we were shooting at before. So it was logical to use that. But I wanted to try the bombs first. Is, you know, we haven't had a real use for bombs aside from walls, and that's a little disappointing. And I just like throwing bombs at things. That's just who I am. I like bombs. This boss fight has gotten immediately a lot easier, though, now that we have the ground back. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to win this fight at first try, but it looks like that might actually be possible. 'Cause he's not that dangerous in this phase. He was more dangerous in the first phase. I also fully expected to have jinxed myself hard there. But apparently I haven't jinxed myself hard enough yet. Yeah, that's an accurate statement. And when it comes to me jinxing myself, absolutely anything is possible. I have snatched defeat from the jaws of victory in immense and amazing ways. He is almost down, though. Don't get that close, don't get that close. That's too dangerous. Not worth it. He's almost dead. Don't risk it. Don't be a fool. I really thought I'd screwed it up there, because I'd gotten hemmed in, but apparently the game gave that to me, and I can't say I agree, but I appreciate the gift. He's jumping away faster now, as he's getting really close to dying. Just die, you big frog. There it is. Well, we're 2 for 2 on first tries on bosses with 1 health left. It's almost like I start taking them seriously when I'm about to die or something. Can't imagine how that works. I don't know if it was that simple a desire, but fair enough, that is a perspective. He did crush a couple people with his ass, yes, that did happen. I do kind of appreciate that they actually give each boss a funeral. That's kind of nice. Da-da-da-da. I don't know why I have this, but I have this now, I guess. Rest in peace, Frog King. You were entertaining. Don't need to be around here anymore, I don't think. Well, that arrowhead is probably used in the forest somewhere. There it is laying by this desk, just like the horn. I guess maybe this is my desk. Hard to say. It was never said at any point. Yep, the little forest sprite is still staring at you. This is accurate. But now that we have bombs, we can access a bunch of other areas now. So I suppose I should start running around and doing some cleanup on that, and then that'll probably make it clear where we're supposed to go next. Speaking of, there's actually a bombable place down here I remember seeing that I should pop open. What do you got for me, Badger? I don't have enough energy. Where's something for me to hit to get energy? Can you give me energy, Badger? No. You, Sprite. Give me energy. Damn it. Am I gonna have to go out through a door and come back with energy just to do this? Why must you vex me, video game? This is probably not the door I should use to do this, but something will be around here. I can also break that guy out while I'm at it. There you go, buddy. You are free now. Yes, little bird did save Grunt. Yes, be forever thank. Go fully charge my energy before I go back in. Rude. Get back here, you floating battery. Now just go start blowing up parts of the office. Everyone's dream at some point. I don't think that's a surveillance device game, but sure, you do you. Looks more like a phonograph to me. How do you have a earthquake in a pocket dimension? Oh, okay, it was a different region. Okay, so that's what happened to a bunch of the ones that got trapped in those dungeons. And this is probably the logs of the Reaper that whacked me upside the head and stole my damn cask soul from earlier. Just started this whole chain of events. He's probably trying to lead me to answers. Beep. 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 Am I upsetting you by doing this? Well, yeah, they came in through the doors I've been going through. I'm just gonna beep this a couple more times to annoy him. There we go. Because that's how we got in here initially at the very beginning of the game. Because I think we took the bus to get here, and then he let us in. Something along those lines. And yeah, this is where we came in when we got bombs. There's an area in the upper left where we came back in when we got the firepower. Brain. Brain. While I'm thinking about it, let's actually go crack open those doors we saw in the mushroom dungeon before I go too far afield. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep going for today. It's a little bit shorter than I meant today to be, but I'm just not energetic enough to power through for super long today. I'd rather end on a good note rather than pushing too far. Besides, I kind of want that hammer. So I think I'll figure out how to get the hammer, and that might be the end of this. What's this? Interesting. Actually, I think I might know what to do with that, but it's somewhere very different from here. So I'm not going to go into detail about that right now. But I want to say there was a statue of some kind in a different area that I could attach that to. Is this where the hammer was, or was it a room further up and left? This was not where the hammer was. There's a bunch of rooms in here we can crack open now. Up and left from where we are now. Well, and by up, I mean up and right, kind of. I don't know why I went up here. I thought the door was up top. Just past these guys. There's where the hammer I want is, which I'm assuming is a new main weapon. And presumably you get it by going this way. And it'll loop around and bring us there after a fashion. That is at least my assumption. It could be significantly more involved than that, but we shall see. Oh, well, this works too. That's another part of a health extension. I saw another red shrine like that in this vague vicinity. It's a very good game. I would have finished this back when it first came out if I hadn't gotten distracted by other games that were coming out around the same time. Which I am very guilty of very frequently. But I have every intention of finishing this game this month. So I try to do a game every month these days to try to work towards getting rid of my backlog. And I think I'm going to commit to this one being in February. So expect to see this coming up more, because I'm probably going to stream the majority of playing through it, because why not? It's a good game. I think I've gone awry again. About the only thing you probably won't see me play much... Well, there's two things that will more than likely not make it on the channel much, if at all. And that would be racing games and MMOs. Those are the two things I probably won't do much on here. MMOs I might change my tune on if I find one that I particularly enjoy. But I find them to be thoroughly uninteresting in the general sense, so that's why I just wouldn't bother to put it on here, or really seek them out. And racing games just make me angry, so no point pushing that. That's fair. I did play a bit of MapleStory. I didn't get super into it because there was another one that I found around the same time I found MapleStory that was capturing my attention more, that had similar mechanics, and I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me. this was yet again a very long time ago. But I have enjoyed a fair few MMOs. It's just a matter of, I think the genre hasn't changed enough in so long that I've run out of reason to care about the genre. If that makes sense. And of course that also loops back into what I was talking about before about tending to do things by myself, which flies in the face of how MMOs work. So it tended to be a dichotomy that did not work out in my favor. Can I just bomb that open from here? No. Okay. Not that bombing it open from there would have done me any real good anyway, but I was curious to see if it would let me. And it would appear we're gonna have to go from a very different angle to get in there. Because the logical angle just leads to the health extension. That can happen sometimes. Back when I played Heroes of the Storm, which is a MOBA, and some people may know what it is, some might not, etc. Point being, me and the handful of people I played that with would tend to cycle roles so nobody got stuck with any one particular role all the time. But what would end up happening even when I was playing support is I would tend to be topping the damage charts anyway, because I'm just an aggressive player by nature. But yeah, it can just happen sometimes, depending on how you're set up and how the game itself works. You can just end up doing everything in one way or the other. I'm starting to think I might be barking up the wrong tree looking for access to the hammer in here. The other potential for how to get to that hammer would be to go outside and look for things I can break out there that would drop down in here. That's always fun when that works out. Where the support can just do everything and come out of it fine. Because I'm assuming it was a matter of you were able to just keep healing so that it could never completely kill you. Because heal tanking is definitely a thing. Yeah. And if anyone asks where I'm going, I don't know either. I'm just letting instinct carry me. Because sometimes I've found that if I just kind of go, I'm going to find where I'm supposed to be going to find the thing I'm looking for. And the more I think about it sometimes, I end up actually not getting anywhere. I'm just letting natural pathing take me potentially to victory. very least, we're gonna go somewhere. Yeah, you don't want to just stand there and eat hits. That would just be silly. Okay, that didn't actually lead anywhere, but that had the potential to lead somewhere. Oh, good to know. I can blow myself up with bombs, as expected. Need more power. You, give me power. You also give me power. Flower, flower, give me power. Now, I don't know what the point of blowing that open is, but we blew it open. May as well heal while I'm here. But yeah, as the only other thought I have as far as MMOs go is I tend to find, and this is just my own nature kicking in on that, but I find working with groups in MMOs to be stressful. And that's mostly just because I don't ever want to make a mistake where other people see it. That's just the thing. So I'm constantly just in full perfectionist mode the whole time. And that just adds a lot of unnecessary stress to it for me. It's another thing I'm working on. I'm trying to correct that behavior in my head, but it takes some doing. And it probably will never be fully corrected. But it is what it is. And part of that's just a behavior ingrained because of past negative experience. And yet again, but that's just the way it goes. As well. Well, therein lies the rub, yeah. But I'm sure you've met plenty of those people that are very quick to just light somebody up for making even the simplest mistake. As if we are somehow supposed to be perfect automatons that do everything correctly the first time, even if you've never seen the thing before, because God forbid you not research everything before you do it. I'm sure you've seen that exact behavior that I'm harping on there. Yeah, exactly. I've been on the wrong end of that numerous times. I have called people out when I know they know better, but that's a different thing. It's when you don't know and people are yelling at you, it's unreasonable. And I've also worked on correcting my own behavior as far as getting on people when they make a mistake when they know better, because people are going to make mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen no matter how good the person is at what they're doing. And I haven't done it in a long time. I've gotten a lot better about it. But yeah. And that's healthy to find ways to work around things or fix mistakes that happen. And as long as people are willing to accept the fact that they made a mistake, that, as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. It's the people who refuse to acknowledge that they've made a mistake that I can't get along with that behavior. If you refuse to acknowledge that you've made a mistake and you start blaming everyone around you for the mistake you made, that's... nah. Nah. Yeah. The point to having all of those options is experimentation. You have the tools and the toys to play with, so you're going to play with them. That's how it goes. And to a point, you do have to operate with what I mentioned before, respect for people's time. And if they don't have time to risk it, then they shouldn't be in a situation where they're going to risk it. And if you end up playing a game as a waste of your time, you may also want to reevaluate what you're doing. But I have been guilty of that as well. That was another one of the layers behind me not doing much other than being solo for so long, is I also knew I had a lot of my own negative behaviors that I didn't want to inflict on others. And I don't think any of them are here, but people who have grouped with me in the past will be able to vouch for some of those negative behaviors. But everybody grows. Everybody's gotta figure that stuff out. It's always the most innocuous of games that end up with these conversations happening. I've noticed that. Either when I'm the one playing, or if I'm watching somebody else play, the more calm and innocuous a game is, the deeper the conversations are going on around it seem to end up being. And I guess it's because everybody's able to focus more on said deeper conversations rather than having to focus on the thing. Yeah. Which, Bloodstained is another fantastic game. Yeah, there's almost always something to show for it. Whether there's something physically to show for, or the time you spent playing something, or not, you usually have at least learned something. There are, of course, some games where you will reach the end of being able to learn or gain anything, and as long as you had fun, then you still gained something. Yes, the soundtrack is fantastic. I cannot think of a track off the top of my head that I did not at least somewhat enjoy. And I did dip into it on the channel already. Went through all of it up to what technically could be considered an end. I just didn't do the hardest stuff afterward, because I did not feel like dealing with it again, because I'd already beaten the game. Shoes are a real interesting weapon, and people called me crazy when I said I was debating doing a hard run with nothing but shoes. And I may still do that someday. But I haven't gotten up the energy to play through that game. I think at this time it would be a 5th time. That's not counting randomizer trips I've done. I would assume it wasn't too bad aside from initially when you didn't have many weapon options. You have to wait a little bit to get your first real shoe upgrade, don't you? I've done so many randomizers for it at this point that I've lost track of what order things show up in. Into a real bad degree. I think there was something I could blow up down here. Wait, no, that's how we got to the boss. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Sometimes something that is a challenge, whether it's a reasonable challenge or not, ends up being fun anyway. Because you're seeing things in a different light at that point. And it helps you grow as a player to challenge yourself to do something you may even think it's impossible. But you decide, why not? Try it. If it doesn't work out, okay, you got better. Well, that's good timing. So which are your favorite bosses? I'm actually curious on that, and now that you bring that up. It's like, I don't think I have a favorite. I certainly have a least favorite, but I don't have a favorite. There's nothing to bomb there. Could have swore there was more places to bomb down here that I saw. But I may also just be getting real loopy at this point. Okay. Bloodless is a good fight. I don't care for what you get as a result of fighting her, but the fight itself is fun. And Velak, Velak was fine. Most of the bosses, before you get to the actual true ending, are the ones that I'm not a fan of, because some of those were just unnecessarily nasty. To the point where the actual finale was kind of disappointing by comparison. And I'm kind of dancing around things. I do, yeah. And I think I did both of them, and I'm pretty sure one of them's one of the ones I'm thinking of in terms of things I did not enjoy. And then there was the secret on the train that was added after I'd originally played the game. I hate that thing. That thing is unreasonable. Yeah, that thing. That's a big old dislike. Once you figure it out, it's not the worst, but I just do not like it. And yeah. And I think even more than fighting it, I think it's the reset time on that fight that aggravates me more. Because you gotta wait through so much of that train sequence before it actually shows up. And it was pointed out to me when I was doing a refresher or run on normal, and I was under-equipped to deal with it, which also did not make it particularly nice to deal with. And I don't remember if I actually went back and killed it. I think I just let it be because I couldn't be bothered. Given the way I'm just kind of spacing out and running around now, I think this is probably as good a point as any to stop. Yeah, well, once you understand how the mechanic works, he's not bad. I'm not a fan of his mechanic, but once you understand it, it's not bad. But as probably has been made pretty clear in today's stream, I'm not exactly a patient man, or at the very least, not a patient player. I will tend to rush, and that's what will get me killed. Let's see if I can find somebody to pass everyone on to. I think this will do me for today. Yeah, those boxes do help a lot for dealing with that. Yeah, why not? We're gonna go raid Nimble Squid. He's playing Spyro, which I enjoy thoroughly. Yeah, and he's a good guy. So go be nice to him. And as always, thank you all for being here. Yeah, Rigodoin is a very good spell. Have a good one, everybody.
Oh! Hello! Drakamoot, thank you for the raiding party of 6. That's awesome, dude. I'm here with my wife, or rather she's on screen and I am off screen. Thank you, dude. That's awesome!